If you're in the DMV, keep your radio locked on FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL. So, Dr. B, take us through again now. What happened to you, the turning point in your life?
Well, I was very successful as a record producer. I had done the impossible. I had lots of money, had all the cars, the house, everything that they say that you're supposed to desire. And I was upset because I realized that the music industry was being controlled by people who weren't even in the music industry. It was being, controlled by these forces. I won't even get into who they are. And they're not who you think they are. But they were getting us to make music that controlled people's mind control. Because music is like water. You get people to drink it, right? You can put poison in it easily. And that's exactly what they were doing. So I was unhappy. So I'm sitting here in the doctor's office. They tell me I've got this long name thing that, I can't pronounce. But I asked the doctor about the cures. He said, well, we haven't cured anything. Nothing? What am I paying for? Right? He said, well, we practice medicine. You practice. You just try. That means you're not sure. He says, well, we try a little this, try a little and see what works. So you're practicing. He says, we also are into disease maintenance to maintain it. I've taken all this stuff. He says, well, we're into treating illness. I said, you treat the illness? You give the illness a treat? Notice they never mentioned you. They didn't say anything they were going to do for you. They're talking about them. They're talking about the money, the business. Because pain, right, is going to make you pay lots of money. Pain is one of the greatest things to move you towards something. You know what I'm saying? There is. At that particular point, I noticed he had on his white jacket, and it looked just like the butcher's jacket that the butchers wear. So that's the same butcher's jacket. Well, the word doctor means teach. Well, my doctor just taught me something that they have no idea what's going on with me. So I left. I realized this phone, this industry that I'm in, this food that I'm choosing to eat, these crazy hours is killing me. I'm not living the life I came to live. So at that point, that moment, I chose to change my life. So I stopped eating all the animals, all the byproducts, all the manufactured food, the Franken foods. I stopped eating, really. And I began to search, and I began to study everything I could about natural health. Because I did ask the doctor one more thing. Do herbs and natural health work? And he said, oh, no, that stuff doesn't work. That's what you talked about, what your doctor said. You know what I'm saying? And what's going to happen to you and how you got to be on this medicine for the rest of your life. I chose not to do that. But that's how I got into natural health. And within 1 year, Carl, within 1 year, all my quote-unquote incurable diseases were gone. Okay? I was eating, right, to survive. I wasn't eating to thrive. You see, that's the way we were taught. You see, it got to the point where we didn't even take a grace before you eat. Your food is here, you're starving. I'm starving. I gotta eat. You just gouge his food down in your mouth. You don't even chew it that good. How do you do that? You've got to stop. Now, when I say eat or consume, I don't mean just what you're putting in your mouth. It's what's coming out of your mouth, what you're listening to, who you're hanging out with. What are your habits? You eat whatever they're telling you on the news because you're glued to the television. I began to think of myself without having the illness. Most people are eating foods that are eating them. Most people have friendships that are eating them alive. They have relationships that are eating them alive. It's not feeding them. You got to have a reciprocal relationship with nature, a reciprocal relationship with your ideas that you create. You have to think from the thing that you desire. If you'd like wealth, you've got to act as if you're wealthy. You've got to focus on being wealthy. And wealthy is just not money. It's your thought patterns. I'm going to be talking about this throughout the weekend because, like I said, tomorrow night I've got a webinar, and this free webinar is how to get into this. We're going to introduce you to energetic stimulation because what I'm teaching you right now is how to stimulate yourself in spring so you can spring forward. That's what we're talking about, so that you now start having solution. A solution is when the soul is right over the equator. That's the soul, the sun time. Huh? You see? And that shifts everything. So tomorrow night, we're going to have that. You go to elevationtime.com and you can, go to events and classes and you'll see what we're doing this weekend.